From Ingleside, Bernal Heights Park. He's got a gun at his hip and is pacing back and forth on the north side of the park near a chain link fence. Suspect is described as an LM, 6'1", 200 pounds, bright red jacket and black pants. He has a black handgun at his hip, and Ingleside is 98 cat 2955.
I got a guy right here.
Which unit was the subject?
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Shots fired. Code 33. Shots fired.
Record. It was one suspect only. The scene is now contained.
What you just heard was the murder of a San Francisco native and Mission resident at the hands of SFPD. When I heard that my friend Alex Nieto was killed on March 21st in Bernal Heights Park, I was devastated. He was shot 14 times after a jogger reported seeing a suspicious Latino man with a gun. Alex in fact did not have a gun, but a taser, which was used for work as a security guard. So many questions ran through my head. Why would they do this? Why have things gone this far? In my years of living in the neighborhood, I have seen vast changes, but the killing of Alex was too much for me to handle. Not only are businesses and families losing their properties, but now people are losing their lives. To see how this event, amongst other growing tensions in the Mission, are impacting its longtime residents, I sat down with my friend and neighbor, Carlos Padilla.
The evictions and long-standing businesses closing, that's the accepted white noise right now because it's not the real problem. The real problem is extreme racism towards mostly Latin people, and then there's also the class thing because there are a lot of people who are not Latin who are being treated like crap because they don't have that money. They don't have that, new tech money.
The neighborhood is not just experiencing a housing crisis. Residents are finding it difficult to lead their daily lives.
I hope when I leave the house that most of the streets I hit are empty, so I don't walk past some people who make me feel ashamed for being the person I was born to be. Not like I have really conflicting social views, but I'm sorry I'm of Latin descent. It's I didn't mean to be, and I didn't know this was a bad thing. I'm trying to make something of my life as well.
One perspective is that this new tech presence is making the neighborhood safer.
Safer for who? Who is it safer for? There's been more accidental police homicides than there have been, civilian homicides. Nobody on the police side of it is ever pegged, and they're never going to take responsibility. And it never will happen. Someone will always come up with the excuse, it was necessary. It's like what the general consensus of whose life is actually worth more. The tech, the tech people working for Google, or, the family living down the street with another family in the same house because they can't afford it and, they just came here.
This led me to ask Carlos about his thoughts on the killing of Alex Nieto.
I almost prefer just evictions, but to use the police force as a kind of hit squad to keep everybody in line as more people are pushed out, that's really, really infuriating. In the news, they made it sound like this man was running around with a gun in his hand. He was a security guard walking to his car. Somebody called the cops on him because he had his gun in his holster, which wasn't even a gun. It was a taser. I mean, since when is it okay for a cop to walk around with machine guns, but, if a security guard has a taser and he happens to be of a certain, ethnicity that is not the, favorite flavor, then it's like we're like mice. They're just setting mouse traps. That's what it is. They're setting mouse traps around the neighborhood to get rid of people, and it's indiscriminate, and it's totally, totally brutal for no reason.
For me, things feel out of control. There are marches and protests, but sometimes it's hard to sit back and watch your community be picked apart. Anger comes naturally in this situation.
I mean, if I went over to their hometown of, wherever the hell, and started, evicting people and building a condo, they would get pissed. They would be up in arms. They would be fighting. Why can't we fight? Are we of the, of the kind of people that are not supposed to fight? Are we just supposed to take it? I find myself struggling against half of me wanting to, just go walk around and tip a couple, Mini Coopers and smart cars, and, the other half of me wanting to just try and play nice, There's just extreme levels of disrespect and an extreme lack of care for human life of a specific, type of human, poor humans. It's like the disrespect Olympics.
I remember watching lowrider shows and sunbathing in the park with my friends. I was appreciative of the community and proud to live here. Now, I am concerned, not only for the safety of myself, but for my friends. The mission is no longer our home. It is where we reside until someone with more money and status decides otherwise. Carlos and I ended our conversation by counting the houses on our block to be sold, silently wondering when ours would be next. For the University of San Francisco, this is Tiye Sheppard.